Hey there everyone, I've recently been playing Cuphead's Delicious Last Course, or DLC for short. Yes, Studio MDHR, we did notice. I've got to say that I really enjoyed playing this, to be honest. It was just as fun and just as difficult as the base game. The bosses are just as frustrating, but the game is so fun and lovable that you can't possibly rage at it, but we're going to try anyway. So without further delay, let me introduce you to the bosses of Cuphead DLC. The first boss in this colourful cast of characters is Glumstone the Giant. He likes hanging out with gnomes, regularly shaving, and the odd bit of animal abuse. The first phase of his fight pretty much involves Glumstone watching while his gnomes kick the living crap out of you. These gnomes also have a nasty habit of pretending to be plants, so get ready to play around with the floor is lava because these SOBs will hurt you just for stepping on them. After taking this beating, Glumstone has a clean shave and then begins to perform a puppet show. But I'm scared of puppets, so I'm just going to shoot them. Oh, and I should probably mention that there's more bleeding gnomes in this phase. And these ones are even worse, I think they're acrobats. So after defeating his puppets, Glumstone just straight up eats you. And after taking the expressway down to his stomach, you have to fight a strange lump that's down there. Some would say it's a favour to get rid of. So don't worry Glum, I'm going to get rid of it for you and send you the medical bill later. The second step on our boss rush takes us to Mortimer Freeze, an ice wizard who's a particularly cool guy. His hobbies include spending time with his cone children, fortune telling, and animal abuse. I'm beginning to see a bit of a pattern in this game. The first phase of his fight is fairly simple. It's just hit the floating guy, avoid the projectiles and the effing whale. He does change over for his second phase though, literally changing himself into Frosty the Snowman. However, the transformations don't just stop there though. He also turns himself into a bowling ball and my personal favourite, the fridge. In this form he attacks with ice cubes and these weird winged ice lolly things. For his final phase, Mortimer transforms yet again, and this time into a snowflake, and this part of the fight is made especially difficult because of the snow cones. Also because of the moving platforms, but they're just not as scary. And on top of all this you have to avoid several projectiles which include buckets and his big disgusting bulging eye. Once you've beaten him though, you're going to walk away feeling very pleased with yourself, but you may also be walking away with the flu. So the next boss on our list is the Howling Aces. And one thing to point out in this fight is that they decided to hire the cast of Tom and Jerry for it. And another thing to point out is that we're in a dog fight and they're all dogs. So in the first phase we have to fight this bulldog, and he's got a very nasty habit of shooting his tattoos at you. And it's not only him we've got to worry about, we're having to fight these smaller dogs who enjoy playing with their balls. In the second phase, the smaller dogs are back, and this time they look like they've been playing a bit too much Jetpack Joyride and seem to be attacking you with Alphabetti Spaghetti. This phase is actually pretty easy, so maybe the next phase won't be so, oh crap, we're upside down. The enemy attacks in this phase aren't actually that hard to avoid. The thing that makes this phase quite difficult is the fact that you have to play on every single side of your screen. Forget making you rage, this phase is just going to make you dizzy. The fourth boss to me is Esther Winchester. She's a cowgirl, literally, and she's the only fight in the DLC where you actually have to find an aeroplane. But it ain't going to help much. Esther's got her own set of weapons to use against you, including a lasso and 2 guns. There's also this weird annoying horsefly that spits a weird ball at you, and this vulture that likes to watch things go boom. For her second phase she goes full on Ghostbuster, putting on a proton pack, although I don't know if this one works properly because it only attracts money. But she's a good businesswoman and offers cash back to her customers. I also think we should all take a moment and appreciate Esther's new Heelys. After breaking her proton pack, it sucks in Esther and turns her into sausage. It's beginning to smell like barbecue time because Esther's serving up steak with a side of beans. But you know what? I'm suddenly not hungry. The final boss that I'm going to introduce you to is the Moonshine Mob. But fair warning, if you hate creepy crawlers, you're going to hate these guys. Now first one you have to fight is terrifying for many. It's the spider. Probably don't need to tell you this, but the best advice, just keep away from the 8-legged freak and shoot him from a distance. You've also got to keep away from his exploding web. Now I always thought web came from Spider's bum, so I guess this guy had a vindaloo. In the next phase we're having to fight a different creepy crawly who's a fan of jazz, listening to music so powerful that it literally hurts. To be honest, this phase is pretty straightforward. Just avoid the music, shoot the bug. For the last phase we have to fight an anteater who's got a particularly long tongue which he definitely knows how to use, in the sense that he can catch 100 ants with it and then proceeds to spit every single one at you. However, the trickiest part of this fight is actually avoiding his tongue itself, probably because of his foul breath. Once the anteater is beat, his hat falls off, revealing a snail underneath. I mean, this just gives me Ratatouille vibes, I don't know about you. But don't worry about the snail there, he only takes like 2 hits and then he's down. There are a couple more bosses to experience in this game, but I don't want to go and spoil everything for you. So I guess you'll just have to play it for yourself and find out. If you have enjoyed the video, then be sure to tap that like button and feel free to subscribe if you like. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.